Well, here we are again. Welcome. On this segment, I'm going to show you how to prune a tree. Now, this is a flowering crabapple tree. This is an ornamental, meaning that you want it to produce nothing more than nice foliage in the spring and possibly in the fall. That's all it's good for. Now, it's a tree, so it's going to, shade the ground, which is going to help with global warming. It's going to take, carbon dioxide out of the air. So, it's a good thing to have around. And I got this free because if you watch your mail just about every year, the Arbor Society always sends something out. And if you fill that out, they will send you free trees, which is where this came from. I planted this a little over a year ago, and look at it. It was only about 7 inches tall last year, so it likes it here. Now, we're going to prune this thing. Notice it hasn't flowered, and the leaves are out. Normally, you would prune about 2 weeks before this, but it just didn't get done. But I also want to show you how to do it. Now, my worthy assistant, meaning Coco, is here. And as you can see, she wants me to grab her rope snake and she can try and pull my arms out of socket. But that's not going to happen. We are pruning a tree. So let me sit down here. Hopefully she doesn't attack. Get back. Okay. Now notice, we have a branch coming up along the side. Here's your main body. And we have stuff sprouting out down here. Now, here's the thing, folks. You don't want any of these or this here. Why? Because you want all the growth, all the energy going into this main stem. And you want it to grow taller. This is just going to be very bush-like here. We don't want a bush. We want a small tree. So, we are going to trim this so that we try and force it to grow up and not stay so short. So what am I going to do? I am going to take off these. I'm going to take off this, some of these lower branches, and then that is going to then force it to grow taller. Okay? So, doesn't matter which pair of pruning shears I use. Let's use this one. This is the straight pair that we sharpened the other day. Now, when you use these, you always put the blade down. There's two sides. There's the cutting blade, and then there's like the smashing blade, the pinching blade. You don't put the pinching part below. Now you say, why? Easy. If you don't cut this, what'll happen, you'll cut it from the top and then you can skin your tree because this won't cut the whole way through sometimes. And then it's going to pull bark off. Well, that can damage your tree. The bark is there to protect it from bacteria and viruses, just like the coronavirus even. But the bottom line is that bark is there to help it and protect it. And so we need to maintain the bark so that we don't have a big area for that thing to heal. If you get in here and look, we don't have a whole lot of room to work here anyway. So I'm going to hold it here with my left hand. I'm right-handed anyhow. See how I get this? Now look, I am putting this blade against the main shaft of the tree, the trunk of the tree, okay? And then I'm going to simply cut from the bottom and then cut down from the top. But I cut my bottom first. Why? Because I don't want it skinning the tree like I had just said. Now, it's being a little contrary, but that can happen. Now, of course, it's getting stuck. All right, now I'm going to show you this cut off. I'm not real happy with this. I should have done this last summer when it came out because this was pretty good size. I could have almost cut it with a saw. I don't like how jagged it is, but it's going to heal over just fine. But you can see it's damaged there a little bit. Now that's all going to grow over. That tree's going to take care of itself. But see this side shoot here, it's not yet a limb. You can pinch it off, see? Now, when you get up to these other ones, there's bark on them. You're going to need to just nip those, see? Again, against the base of the stem, there it is. Against the base of the stem, there it is. There it is. Get this guy. Try to keep it in tight. Try to keep it tight. Get this one. Now, that's much better. Much, much better. And it's going to force the growth from down here where we don't want it to up here. And we are getting high enough up in this area of the tree now, from here up, where we want it, because everybody mows their grass, and when you cut your grass, you don't want to get into this thing and have it like knock you off the tractor, or it's a pain to mow around. So that is why we have to take the limbs off the bottom and force it to grow up. It's not hard work, but the tree is going to secrete sap, and it is going to heal itself. Some people paint these with some paint, but you don't have to. And we can come back, check on this another day, and you will see it will heal itself all over. But we're going to let this go for now, because we've taken, as you can see, a good bit off. And it has a mate on up here from it. So I'm going to go trim it, and then I'm going to show you how to trim raspberry bushes, because I have those too. All right, we're back. We'll start here in the rose bushes. Now, I normally prune my rose bushes in March, but I waited a little longer this year because I wanted to be able to show you the difference between what is dead and what is alive. Because after winter, you can definitely see that just through the winter process, some of this rose bush is quite alive, and then others have some real issues, like this one, for example. There's life in this, but gee whiz, a vast majority of this is dead. And when you take a hold of it, it snaps. You can tell it's dead. So when we prune, you have to take out all the dead. Now you say, why do that? Well, you want it to bloom, you want it to look nice. So this whole part is dead. Right in there, take it right off. This part is dead. Take it off. That little guy, and so on. You always cut out the dead. Now, what do you say if you don't like the shape of it? Because here's something that's quite alive, but if you stand back, notice how this is growing out. Well, get rid of it. If you don't want it to be so wide, cut that whole part off. And here's a dead part, so we'll take it out. And a dead part here, we'll take it out. Now, very quickly, let's get this guy off of here. Now you're going to have more of a bush shape. So here's the deal. When you're trimming, you always cut the dead out, and then you shape it up as you would like it. And that's going to force the living parts that are there to bloom nicer, bloom better, because all the energy from the roots are then going to go into it. So that is how you would trim a raspberry bush. Trimming is easy. You take out the dead, you shape up the green that's there, but you don't ever overdo it, and you cut from the bottom up. and you simply watch what you're doing. So, happy pruning. And as always, take it easy.